Welcome back, or hello if you're new. I'm Lovely, and I'm excited to present our very first artist deep dive, or ADD for short. This segment is about exploring the ins and outs, the ups and downs of what it means to be a creative. I have a jar of a wish bag, if you will, of topics that I pulled from, and the first topic was I know why you don't like your art, where we will be looking at a couple, just two. Speaking of two, let me introduce myself. I am going to be here for whenever Miss Curly here fumbles or makes a mistake. So get used to me. Relationships that may be hindering your creative spirit. Now, if you see me looking down off to the side, I do have a script. I may have rehearsed it four times, just four times. I don't know but I'm ready to get started. In this video, I will discuss some of the creative's biggest obstacles and how to overcome them. In hopes to reach as many people as humanly possible, I universally coded this video to be for creatives, period, not just people who paint and draw. Although you are my main audience, I split this into a two-part deep dive where I'll be explaining some relationship dynamics within yourself that set us back from our creative outlets. I think she means from performing our best in our creative outlets. We're not going to go there with her though. She's a little off. I want to assess where you currently are in your creative journey. Are you the artist that is struggling to develop your art style? Do you reject admiration? Do you practice seemingly all the time and you just don't see the results that you want to see? Are you that impatient beginner who expects to see immediate results right away? Through art block. That's simple. Maybe you've been doing this forever and you're just kind of numb to what you've been creating, or you're just peeping in on the plights of a creative, whatever that may be, whatever that looks like for you. I have been at pretty much every single one of these stages and worked through them differently. So I'm hoping that you can hear my story and take something from it. Sometimes when I'm in these spaces, I do look to other artists, which from those artists, I compiled a pretty decent list of things, not just these two, but a pretty decent list of things that have helped me through those murky creative times and modified it to the kind of artist that I wanted to become. And yeah, with that being said, let's get started with the first topic: your relationship to what you create. In order to have a better relationship with my creativity, I look to other artists for inspiration, and I also used to go on Pinterest to hope to get that burst of creativity, which was always short-lived. Even if I did create something with that burst of creativity, and it just never felt, it was never something that stayed. It was always just like, oh, I drew one cool picture or one little thing, so it just never lasted. And I wanted something that I could, if I did fall into that, I could go back within myself to reset it and not look outwards all the time. Sometimes, no matter how inspired you are, your art just can't reflect that. And that disconnect can be stemming from somewhere deeper than to
At least for me, it
was on your private sketchbook. It could be that you just don't really have a good relationship with yourself, which is a nice way of saying that you probably just don't really like yourself all too much. I believe that I'm ripping this straight from Sam Does It, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just have to figure out how to work through that. This motions the concept of art being a reflection of the artist and their experiences. Now, if this sounds like something that you can or can't work through right now, that's totally up to you. You know where you stand best, emotionally and spiritually. So if this is something that you're probably not willing to really get too into yet, your discretion. But I will explain what I did to help me through these times, and hopefully, you know, resonates. Um, None of these are art related either. I know that a lot of times when I was going through art block or things like that, I always used to see these artists talk about doing multiple different drawings a day, or and trying to be creative as much as possible. It I wouldn't say it doesn't work, but it doesn't work long term for sure. But none of these are art related. And the first one is listening to your body. Now, in order to truly love yourself, you have to give yourself the grace of your humanity. This is something that maybe a perfectionist may need to hear, or somebody who has a hard time separating their value and their how much they can get done. Um, I often used to force myself to wait to eat, sleep, socialize, use the bathroom, pretty much everything in between until I was done being productive. Um, it wasn't until I learned to trust myself to fall back into my productivity. This also means allowing yourself to fall into your humanity and whatever that entails. Not like inhumane things like slaughtering animals or anything like that. Like, just fall into yourself healthy. Your value is not a reflection of your productivity. Rewarding yourself with life's mundane tasks like eating and sleeping is a trauma response that can be unlearned, but we're not going to get too into that. I just want to let you know it can be unlearned, and when you notice yourself doing it, try to actively not do so. The second thing I did was get off of social media. Now, that is probably sounding so dumb. In order for you to watch this video, you have to be on social media. In order for me to upload this, you have to be on social media. So it's not like that. What I did was put all of my social medias on my tablet. And I know there's a few people in my life who have been hearing me say that an awful lot, and they're probably so done with hearing that. But it's mainly because I'm not too much about depravity, more so healthy moderation, because I am like most people with brains. Social media can get highly addictive, along with pretty much anything that you overindulge in. It can be addictive. So just watch out for falling into habits, because not everything on there is something that can fuel your creative spirit and help that relationship with yourself. Pretty sure you are equally as interesting as the people on your phone. You just have to figure out why. And if you don't think you are, figure out how you can make yourself into an interesting person. I can't tell you how to do that, but I don't know. Start with a few modifications to yourself and to your day. The third one I can say is being around loved ones. Now, who fuels your creative spirit? It's two different analogies. I came up with both of these when I was writing this script. So, it's a game where you kind of like pop a person into your head, and then if they make your creative spirits feel light and like you can do anything, you feel good after you are done being vulnerable with this person, then they can stay in your basketball game. keep with me. But the person who thinks into your head and you're thinking, oh, I might not be able to show up the best that I can in life or creatively after a conversation with this person, after being around this person for too long, then it may be time to take them out of the game and put them on the bleachers. Put them on the bleachers, put them on the sidelines. It's not kicking them off the team yet. Sometimes you need to kick people off the team, and I'm never gonna make that into anything bigger than what it is. Sometimes people need to get off the team. But sometimes people just need to sit on the sidelines and just need to witness your team win. That's what I came up with for being around loved ones. I say the thing about making sure that whoever is in your basketball game, all that those kind of things. I say that to say a lot of what needs to be done in order to show up the best creatively, it is inner work. It is work that comes from within. You have to push yourself to change things up and be different. So we just want to make sure the people and the things that we have in our outer world is strong as can be. Number 4, gaining new experiences. This looks different for everyone. Some people may want to go blow a bag in Paris and swing off the Eiffel Tower. Some people may simply change up theirs a little less expensively, like talking to 3 different people, using your non-dominant hand for a week, exercising on machines that you don't normally use, going into places that you're not really used to, enrolling yourself in school or YouTube University. Trust me on that one. Express your creative thing differently. So like if you're a singer and singing hasn't really been refreshed for you in a while, you may need to step into doing pottery. And if you are a photographer, you may need to go take some dancing classes. That's what I mean, is expressing yourself differently, so then when you return to the thing that brings you utmost joy, whatever creative outlet that is, you're able to do it with a refreshed sense, and you're able to look at it differently with a different lens, all because you took a different way home for a month and you were able to experience a different side of your city, and that influence to your creative spirit. Painters playing violins is what I put in. That stuff is easier said than done. It can be hard to initiate those, but like I said, I'm not here to coddle you. Like, if you're here, I feel like I'm the kind of person who cultivates just getting it done, and until we're ready to get it done, we're just in the works trying to figure out how we can get it done. We're not going to sit here and blab about it. We're going to actually make sure that we make the moves. Basically, the boring old locking in is what I'm saying is the cure. See how that changes your creative spirit, for sure. The last one, the relationship with your flaws. There's only a few things that can be done about the relationship with your flaws. First one, you could change it. You could change it and see how that improves your quality of life. I feel like with willpower and determination, humans genuinely, they can accomplish pretty much anything. That's what I feel like. So put your mind to it, put your head in the ground. Well, not put your head in the ground. Put your feet on the pavement, whatever. You mean lock in? Whatever saying you need. Start doing it. Start trying to work towards getting that thing done. If you think that having a bigger butt is going to make you feel better, get in the gym or gather $8,000 to get a BBL. If you feel like having a mohawk is going to change the way that people talk to you, then you should probably shave the sides of your head. Whatever you think is going to change and really improve your quality of life, you need to start that pretty much immediately to see if it does. Or you could accept it and not put so much weight on it because it's so small. I noticed that when we are confronted with the insecurities of our loved ones, let's think our kids or our grandmother or your spouse, just people in your, like, your best friend, people in your life, when they complain about their flaws, you're just like, how do you even focus on that? And how is it possible that you can give them that grace but you can't give yourself that grace? Overlook someone else's flaws and highlights and magnify yours all the time. That is awful for your creative gumption spirit. I don't know. Trying to change your flaws is expensive in more ways than one. Um, it's just not worth it, especially if it doesn't actually do anything in the end. If it does, that's excellent, and that means it worked for you. But I can say with an example of mine, when I was a chunkier girl, I wanted to be a lot slimmer, and I got slimmer and did not like it. So sometimes you can get exactly what you want and not even want it. So get the change and it still does nothing. You're still not able to show up the way that you want to creatively. And that's just a waste of time when you could have started by just getting deep with those uncomfortable emotions to see why you feel this way, what it may stem from, who may have ignited this in the first place. Because, you know, there was a time in your life where you didn't even notice that you had flaws. And so when has this started, and what steps can you take to make sure that they don't impact your creative drive and your ability to show up for yourself? Now, hopefully you sit back and assess these statements for yourself. I find that writing it out helps a ton because it's sometimes like very little traction between your thoughts and what you write. So that I find that helps. So I feel like you'll be able to show up a lot better with your creative ventures. If you are at a stage where this is not even a concern for you anymore, you feel like you have a good relationship with yourself, you feel like you have a good relationship with your flaws, you're good, basically. What can you tell other artists? What can you tell younger artists that can help them, or just onlookers who may be just trying to figure some things out? Let's have that discourse. How did you become so comfortable with yourself? What things did you have to let go of? What things did you have to do more of? That being said, I hope you enjoyed my first deep dive. I'm very proud that I finished my first script. I kind of don't even want to edit it, but now that I will. A lot of moments in here that are like, anyways. We are officially 30 bones strong. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Goodbye now.